All right, welcome back. You guys just watched Grand Passion. I am here live with the crew in studio. Guys, I guess let's just start with a basic introduction. Josh, let's start with you. You're right next to me.
Hi there, I'm Josh Cooper, and I was production coordinator for Grand Passion.
Hello, my name is Sophie McGuirk. I acted as a Vivian in Grand Passion.
I'm Michael Connell. I was the writer, and I played Paul.
My name is Karsten Kaufmann, and I was the director of photography for Grand Passion.
Okay, so I know this started off as a class project. Was this an idea prior to the project being presented, or is this an idea you always had, or how did this come about?
Sounds really pretentious.
Go for it.
I came up with this idea, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know how I came up with it, but I probably like went to a party and like got rejected or something, and that's probably how it. And then I probably came home and like wrote the idea down later that night.
So it's a little autobiographical then, yeah?
I think it's based on true events.
Nice.
So yeah, I wrote a script for it like 4 years ago or something, and then we had the project in class last year to make a short film, and we all were in a group together, and we were just kind of like spitballing ideas, and like we had a few different ideas, but none of them were really like sticking, and then I threw that one out, and everybody seemed to sort of gravitate towards it, and we decided to go for it.
So I know you guys, there must have been some issues as you were filming. What were some of the most difficult, I guess, things that came your way that you guys had to circumvent and figure out?
One of the hardest parts for sure was filming the party scene.
Yeah.
That took like probably 8 to 10 hours just of pre-production just to get it ready, and we had to get a whole bunch of friends to come, and we even bribed them with like pizza and beverages.
Yeah.
It took probably like 5 hours worth of filming just to get it done.
The party scene alone?
Yeah, it was really strenuous. It's pretty difficult. Yeah.
Just another note on technology troubles. We originally started filming it on like the school's camera that we rented out, the 7D, and this was a camera that like neither I or Michael had really like used before, and we were convinced that it was somehow better than the T3Is that we both owned and like had operated for years, but we like were very like firm about trying to use the 7D, and then like that just didn't work. We just didn't know how to use it very well, so we went back to the cameras that we also had.
Did you have to scrap the original footage that you filmed with the 7D?
I think it actually made like 2 clips from that made it into the film, but yeah, that was just something that came into my head. You have anything, Michael?
That's the director of photography right there. Talking about cameras. The party was definitely the most difficult thing. Just the planning that went into it was pretty insane, and none of us had ever done anything like that before. So it was a big learning experience, and it was a lot of fun. So.
While you were filming the party, I mean, there were a lot of moving parts. You said it took 5 hours. Is that what it was? Yeah. Was there any concerns of, I mean, how did you guys wrangle everyone to be at the same, where they needed to be at a particular time?
Well, it's funny you ask. So we'd have to make a shot list of where we wanted, like the most congested party scenes would have to be done first.
Yeah.
But that wasn't necessarily in order, you know? And so then by the end of the night, we were doing like close-up shots with small groups of people to make it seem as though there was still a lot of people there, and then we would underlay the audio track that we took like samples from when the party was actually like, you know, in full effect. But yeah, it's funny because continuity errors are all over the place, but I don't know. It came together.
Yeah. And another interesting part about that whole party scene is that like these weren't paid extras, so there was this like variable of like we like literally don't know how long like people are gonna stay, and so that's like Josh said, we had to buy like pizza and like alcohol, and like some people got like really drunk. Like some people were like were kind of hammered, and it was actually like it turned into a party, which was kind of cool. That just kind of added to the whole like the night itself. I forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, we had like probably close to maybe like 50 or 60 people at the very beginning, and at the end of the night we probably had maybe 20. And we even had to go back and reshoot some scenes a couple days later, like with the scene with Thoreau.
Yeah, I was in there.
Thoreau and our friend Josh Gill and Michael. Like, it was the scenes where he was chilling by himself. We actually did that like 2 days after the whole production and everything.
Nice. Well, you guys had a bunch of different locations. You had a liquor store in there. You had the bridge scene. Did you guys go and scout these locations, or, I mean, did you always kind of have them in mind prior to shooting?
Yeah, we did do some scouting, but I think that this like project was so doable also is because like the locations were like shootable. It wasn't like crazy far-fetched to like
Sure.
to shoot in Lower Park or even like Ray's Liquor. The only thing that really required a whole lot of planning was the party, and once we kind of got that done, everything else could be done on our own time. But yeah, we knew we wanted to film in Lower Park or 1 Mile, and also we needed a liquor store scene. And I think Ray's was the first place we went into, and the guy was like really cool with it. So we just knocked all that out in one night. And then, yeah, we filmed the bathroom scene at Sophie's house, but then the bedroom scene at Josh's house. So we were kind of just like using our own resources, and
Yeah.
then, whatever looked the best out of everything we had, we kind of just used that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Sophie, you had a kissing scene in there.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
I have a few.
Let me know. Give it to me.
Sure. So, did you know the guy prior?
Okay, no. So I didn't know the guy prior, and it's funny because it kind of just escalated. Like, they didn't know what I was comfortable with. He had written it a certain way, and it was gonna be like kind of like cuddling or like holding hands, and like I'm sitting on this guy's lap, and I was just like, you know what, I'll do it for the movie, whatever we need. I'm like, I'm all in. And he was like, okay, so what if you like make out with the guy? And I'm like, end up sitting on this, and Josh goes, I know a guy. And I was like, okay. And he goes, we need someone who looks really, I don't know if I can say the word, but we need like a bro. And Josh goes, I know the guy. I have him. I already have him.
Immediately.
I will text him. He is down. And I've never met this guy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is great. And so we meet like that night, never met before. Hi, what's your name? Automatically sitting on his lap, getting closer. We're like blocking out the scenes, and we're like, this close, like so close to each other. And I don't know the guy, but I saw him at the bars the other day. He's doing great. We just, for old time's sake. But actually, funny story, I found out that my friend was actually talking to the guy, and I had no idea. So
No,
really?
So
the plot thickens. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
The shout out to Brendan Watts, who had to do the laborious task of making out with Sophie.
I know, it's
but,
difficult.
He was pretty willing, so.
Nice. So, real quick, what was everyone's favorite scene in the movie? Or actually, let's do that last. What was everyone's most challenging scene in the movie, would you say? Besides that, we talked about the house party, but let's be specific.
I was actually in the film at one point in the flashback scene as the father. That was, I guess, the most difficult, because I just had to really work on my hands all week, make sure they were pretty clean. It was tough, but it worked. So.
The most difficult?
Or most
scene?
challenging going into it?
Probably continuity errors, actually, was like on myself, not on anyone else. It was, this is kind of funny, when we were having the party and we were, having beers and like trying to be hosts as well as like stay on task. I mean, it was a lot of work. And so I'm trying to be like a good host, make sure everyone is happy and stuff. And I'm drinking out of a Sierra Nevada, and then I turn around, I'm like holding a Rolling Rock. I'm like, no, this isn't right. I'm pouring Rolling Rocks into Sierra Nevada cups and into glasses, and I'm all over the place. But probably, the party was the most difficult.
Yeah, Sophie was on top of our continuity. I think if it wasn't for her, it would have been a disaster. So I don't know how you thought of all that, but no, yeah, acting in the party scene was it was difficult just because everybody was running around like trying to figure out what the shots were going to look like, and Sophie and I also had to act in it. So like trying to go from like behind the camera, like composing shots, to having to step in and act in it without really rehearsing it, and like kind of going from like director mode or whatever to like actor mode, just like like that
Just
was,
flipping the switch and going
was-
right
yeah,
into
it's not
it.
like the ideal way to do it. So that was very difficult. But and there's some scenes in there where that I wish I could like have thought about how I was gonna act in it more. That
Yeah.
I'm not like super proud of, but I think it worked out. So, but yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah. On a different note, I think that the bedroom scene, like the part where Paul is, getting ready to go buy his bottle of wine,
Oh,
like
yeah.
there was a point in that night when we were filming that, where just from like a production standpoint, it was just like hell. Like we couldn't really light Josh's room correctly because one of the LEDs we were using was like burned out, and then I don't know, it was like 2 a.m. at this time, and like it had just been like wearing on us, and we were like trying to get like this shot with the mirror, I remember, that just like wasn't working, and then I think that was like the most exhausting part of
That was
it.
like a turning point of the production, I think. Like everyone was like really frustrated, and we were kind of like battling each other, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
And then we sort of all decided to just like push through it. And I think it was at that point that we were like, okay, like now that we went through that, like now we have to like do this. So I think that was like needed in a way.
Yeah, I remember at that point specifically, we were all super exhausted and like everyone wanted to go home and just be done with it. And
Sure.
we even ended up reshooting most of the scenes in my bedroom because it just wasn't right. But I think like the worst part of the whole thing was the fact that we misplaced a lighting kit. Cost us a good amount of money. That was yeah, that was the worst part for sure.
Ouch. That is, yeah, that's probably the most challenging, huh? Is coming out of the pocket. You guys, so the film's about 10 minutes. How long would you say pre-production, post-production for everything went into it? Because I saw you guys working on it, and I know you guys put in some time. If you had to guess, what would you say?
I don't know if I could like give hours and stuff, because I mean we'd go like late into the night. The pre-production was, everlasting, and it started out as a school project, but it definitely turned into like a labor of love. Like it was something we all, put first.
Yeah.
We were up till like, every hour in the middle of the night, like when can you meet? When can you meet? We're gonna shoot day for night. Like we need someone to hold the lights. Like it was just like this. I had to go to Bevmo, and we knew from like the get-go that we wanted to name the short after the wine we chose. And I went to Bevmo, and I had to find a bottle that looked classic enough for Michael's parents to be drinking it, but also to be like rare and to sound French, and to and it was like I'm at Bevmo, like what the heck. And I'm sending pictures on pictures on pictures, and we just had the longest group chat, and it really just was a labor of love. So it all came.
So potentially the movie could have been called Carlo Rossi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it was whatever wine bottle looked good, and like Sophie pretty much chose the name, which I'm not. That's like it was a great name. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it was whatever they had on sale at Bevmo that day was going to be the name of it. It was almost Charles Shaw. Yeah, it was
Nice.
that close to being Charles Shaw. Yeah. No, but it was like I don't know, like a month or month and a half total.
6 weeks.
Yeah, maybe 6 weeks or so of like a few days a week of like long hours. So I can't really put a number on it, but it was a lot.
I'd say it was probably like at least 80 hours worth of work. If
Yeah.
at least 80, probably more if you just factor in like you going to get wine or just everything.
The coffee for the shoots.
The
like, just
coffee,
anything.
going to pick up the peat, like just getting a whole party scene ready.
The time we went to that cozy diner place that's like open all late.
Oh.
We all like got pie. And
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
The
That was,
pre-production is like, yeah.
there's so much pre-production.
Yeah,
You just
I
don't,
bet.
I never realized it until this, how much pre-production goes into it.
It makes a project a lot easier, wouldn't you say, though, when you're passionate about it? Because it seems like you guys, grand passionate about it. It seems like you guys all came together, and I remember my group, we just were so sick of even seeing each other. Like, we were like, whatever, let's just throw something together. But it seemed like you guys really gelled. Like, what was that experience like? I mean, I know you all knew each other previously, but I'm sure, did this experience make you guys come closer as friends, or, how did it affect you personally?
I definitely think it brought us closer together. Like we definitely handpicked each other.
Yeah.
'Cause we knew that we wanted to work with each other because we all really thought we were good at what we were doing, and I don't know. We kind of just became like really close friends from it, like bonded
Oh.
really well.
I was just gonna say, I'm sitting in class, you know, at like at the front of the class, and the professor's giving, you know, talking about, oh, we're gonna do a narrative project, and I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted, you know, and they're like, Sophie, and I turn around, and you know, it's like Josh and Karsten and Michael behind me, like, you want to be in our group? And I was like flattered, but I was like, yeah, of course. And like I'll never forget that, like, to be like, you know, like picked by such a group of like talented, you know, people. And I swear, it's like it's been quite the experience. So yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like a hand-picked group. And like in the back of my mind, I was like, do I want to pick Jero? Like, is this gonna be weird that like is Jero gonna like feel left out? Because I know he's like really talented too, but like.
Oh.
So sorry about that, but
I made the film, bro. I was in there.
No, yeah,
I had like 10 seconds of FaceTime. It was great.
And that's why I wanted to include you in the film, because I just, you know, I felt bad. And you killed it too. You killed it. That moment where you like shake your head and you're just like, who the hell is that guy?
I worked on that for weeks.
Just brilliant.
Method acting.
Yeah.
That was just a negative guy
that
for
was
weeks.
Totally method.
He activated you for more.
Yeah. And that was the first take too, which was amazing. I was prepared to be there for like 3 hours doing that shot, but that was one take.
I smoked so many cigarettes that night.
Yeah.
My voice is still messed up from that evening. Like, it was brutal. So let's do this before we get out of here. Everyone's favorite scene, favorite moment, or just favorite experience from the entire thing.
Just from the camera standpoint, I really like shooting in the liquor store. That was super fun for me. Usually, you don't have access to like a very like well lit indoor, authentic like location, and we did. Even with the guy, I forget his name, but we even had like the cashier like in the movie.
Yeah.
He was like so stoked about it. Yeah. I know. You know who you are. Shout out, man. Yeah. There's a hilarious like Instagram post on the Raise Liquor Instagram with like us and our tripod and our camera. We were in there like 2 a.m. and sometimes we'd be like shooting, and then like people would actually come in to like buy beer, and we'd be like, oh, we have to like redo that because people walked in. But yeah, I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah, the liquor store was really fun. I gotta say the most fun was the party scene. It was just kind of crazy, but in a good way. And there was a moment at the end of the filming when it was finally complete that everybody was kind of like huddled up outside, and Josh was with the megaphone like standing up on like a pillar like podium type thing, and everybody had like beer in their hands, and we were all like shotgunning the beer, and we're like, all right, that's a wrap, everybody. And it felt like, and we all like did the shotgun, and it felt like we were actually like completed like a real movie shoot.
Yeah.
Our little movie. Like it felt like we actually did something, and it was a pretty cool little moment there. So
That's
that was
great.
really fun.
I'm gonna have to steal Michael's, because like I know that's like not fair, but yeah, it's just like the like camaraderie and like the the whole experience. When I look back on it, it's just like such fond memories, and it's like still people are coming up to me like, oh, you Grand Passion, and I'm like, yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
You know, it's like public recognition by people all over Chico, and like I was getting coffee the other day, and this guy was like, this is gonna be really weird, and I'm like, it can't be that weird. What is it? And he's like, the wine short with the sad guy, and I was like,
guy.
yeah, that's I know. I mean, yeah. That's yeah, but I don't know. Like, yeah, exactly. When it was like we had like a wrap, and we had like, you know, our close friends all around. It was like us 4, and I remember just like huddling and just being like, you guys, like, that's a wrap, you know, like it was all good. Went out for drinks. Like we'd have like dinner together regularly. I don't know. It was just like it meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, I'll say I have 2. Like, definitely the party scene was probably the most like crazy feeling of just joy, because I had been like yelling literally the entire night in the megaphone for like 5 hours. People were everyone was coming to me with like complaints or questions or anything, like how much longer we have to be here, or any of that stuff. So as soon as it finished, I remember I was so happy. I like broke my nail, and I got all bloody just from opening the beer so quickly to check it. And then my second favorite moment was probably, it wasn't till like at least 2 weeks after, maybe even longer, where we all got together and we actually like drank that bottle of wine together at Sophie's house.
That's what I was gonna ask you. What happened to that
Yeah,
bottle?
that-
Nice.
That was that just felt really like it had to happen kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, great. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. Michael coming from out of town. It's awesome. The film, I loved it, obviously. And I really can't thank you guys enough. This was great. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And maybe we'll do a reunion episode a couple years from now. Who knows? We'll see you next time.